Beloved soul, sometimes life sends out signs that you simply cannot ignore, no matter how much your logical mind tries to explain them away. At times, these divine signals come through music that speaks directly to your situation, or a deep inner nudge that catches your attention right away and won't let go. Small events happen like surprising coincidences, meaningful synchronicities, even when you are not actively looking for them at all. When you've stopped seeking and started living, you may notice a special kind of calm settling over your spirit, or a message that nearly reached you but did not quite arrive in the end. A text typed and deleted, a call almost made. A particular feeling shows up exactly when you choose to move ahead with your life independently. There exists a certain point in every deep soul relationship where nothing looks different on the surface level to outside observers. Type in the comments right now, "I sense the shift happening." This is not just words. This is your spiritual confirmation that you recognize heaven is moving in the invisible realm. Yet deep down, in the realm of the spirit where truth lives, everything has changed in important and fundamental ways. You have probably sensed an inner discomfort for many days, or even several weeks now, maybe longer. This sensation is not really fear or anxiety, but rather a strange kind of certainty that stays with you constantly. It feels as if the spiritual atmosphere around you has become heavier than before, charged with something about to break through. Memories, emotions, or the sudden thought of someone who is not physically present come to your mind without any warning at all, interrupting whatever you're doing. I want you to stop for a moment right now. Take a slow, deep breath and really pay attention to what your heart has been trying to tell you for such a long time, what your spirit has been whispering. Write in the comments, "My heart has been speaking." This is acknowledging the inner witness you've been hearing. If this is your first time here, welcome to Angel's Whisper, a sacred space created for divine messages, spiritual insight, and prophetic understanding about the invisible shifts happening in your relationships and soul connections. This is a place where truth meets the heart, where heaven's wisdom reveals what's happening beneath the surface of silence and distance. I invite you to subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay connected, because every message shared here is meant to guide you into clarity about what God is doing behind the scenes. If you're feeling this energy shift right now, if you recognize this description of what's been happening in your spirit, hit like so others can receive this message too. Even if your logical thoughts try to push it away, try to rationalize it as wishful thinking, what you are noticing is not an illusion or just a random coincidence without meaning. What you feel inside is completely real and spiritually meaningful. That soft pressure in your chest, that fresh vibration in your spirit are not simply your imagination or a strong wish for things to change on their own without any real basis. It is clear proof, divine confirmation, that the unseen connection between two souls has grown stronger and become tighter than ever before. Today I want to talk with you about the person who tried desperately to hold back their feelings, to suppress what they felt for you, but now senses something they can no longer hide even from themselves. They carry a real fear of losing you completely and permanently. This is not the selfish kind of fear that wants to own or control another person for ego. It is something much deeper and more basic in human nature, the soul's recognition of losing its home. Type this: they fear losing me now. This is claiming the shift in power dynamics. The awakening: they cannot stop when someone who holds your energy inside their soul, who carries you in the hidden chambers of their heart, truly feels they are losing you. Something important wakes up within them. It is a sudden, uncomfortable, and unexpected awakening that they did not ask for, did not want, cannot control for a long time, maybe months, maybe years. This person may have lived with the proud idea that you would always stay there, waiting patiently for them. They thought you would keep the light on, keep the door open while they decided if it felt safe enough to come closer, if they were ready, if the timing was right. But energy never stays the same forever, beloved. Energy is always moving, always shifting. The moment you changed internally and your energy stopped waiting patiently, stopped being available on demand, you created a wave through the spiritual connection that reached the very center of their world, shaking their foundation. Proverbs 25:28 says, "Like a city whose walls are broken through is a person who lacks self-control." You rebuilt your walls, you took back your boundaries, and they feel the difference. Write in the comments, "I stopped waiting." This is the action that changed everything. It does not matter how hard this person tried to hide their true feelings, how much pride they built around themselves like armor, or how many logical reasons they made up to avoid facing their true emotions. There comes a time on this spiritual path when the soul no longer listens to the mind's excuses and follows its own truth instead. In that exact moment, the soul hears the emptiness around it and faces the real and frightening chance that you might not be part of their future anymore. That is exactly what is happening for them right now, in this season. While you receive this message, you do not need a missed call or a long explanatory text to confirm it is true. You know it deep inside because soul connections do not follow normal calendars or simple human logic at all. They follow a special kind of spiritual vibration that speaks clearly to those with ears to hear. When the other person's soul senses it is about to lose its energetic home, lose the one place it felt safe and seen, it starts to wake up and move toward you. Type boldly, "Their soul is waking up." This is prophetic declaration over their current state. What you will learn today will help you see clearly why this change is taking place at this specific moment and why it touches you so strongly in your own spirit. If you are still here listening, still receiving these words, you are already among the rare people who are brave enough to face what most others spend their whole lives trying to escape or avoid. Many people pass by content like this, not because it fails to reach them, but because it reaches them too deeply and stirs things they prefer to keep hidden, truths they're not ready to face. If this is already moving something powerful inside you, then consider following channels like this one and turning on alerts for new messages. What you are about to hear does not only explain the fear of losing someone special, it will change forever the way you understand yourself, your own power, and your own spiritual strength. The power of your withdrawal. We often think mistakenly that silence means everything is finished, or that physical distance means someone has forgotten us entirely, moved on completely. But in the world of spiritual energy, Silence is often the very space where the biggest and most important changes take place quietly, invisibly. The person who seemed cold, distant, or unsure is now entering a time when they must face the real truth about their feelings without any more excuses or distractions. Their usual ways of distracting themselves no longer work effectively, and hiding their own emotions stops being effective protection. Comment, "I feel it," if you've been sensing their restlessness and fear lately. If you can feel the shift in them, something inside them is gently pushing them toward an unexpected action or step forward that they're resisting but cannot ultimately avoid. This response does not come from their everyday logical thinking, but from a deep soul need to bring back the balance that you changed when you stepped away with intentional care and self-love. To really understand why this fear of losing you feels so overwhelmingly strong to them, and why it will create something new between you, we must first look closely at what you have done yourself. Perhaps, without even noticing it fully at the time, you changed the rules of your connection in lasting ways that cannot be undone. If you feel ready to accept this truth in your own life, then write a simple note in the comments saying, "I am taking my power back." Those few words hold more spiritual meaning than you might imagine at first. You are growing and changing spiritually, and that growth forms a central part of this whole divine experience. For quite a while, maybe the entire duration of this connection, your energy was probably sent outward constantly, always moving toward this person. It carried the feeling of waiting, hoping, doubting, and living with ongoing uncertainty about where you stood. You may have spent many nights thinking obsessively about whether they felt the same depth of emotion, whether they remembered you during the day, or whether you truly mattered in their world at all. This kind of vibration, which came from a genuine place of love, was sometimes seen by the other person as pressure that actually gave them enough comfort to stay still, to remain uncommitted. Ecclesiastes 3:6 speaks of a time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep and a time to throw away. You entered the time of giving up the chase, of throwing away what wasn't serving you. Write this: "I stopped chasing them." This is the shift that triggered their awakening. As long as you held the connection mostly by yourself, carrying the full weight, the other person did not have to carry any real weight or make any real effort. But then something important shifted inside you, in your spirit and in your understanding. You started to put yourself first more often, perhaps without even planning to do so consciously. It just happened naturally as you grew. You began pulling your energy back, not to hurt them or punish them, but as a true act of loving and respecting yourself deeply, honoring what God placed in you. The moment you returned to your own center, to your own life and purpose, the whole vibration changed completely in the spiritual realm. This idea is sometimes called the physics of emptiness in spiritual connections. Nature and the human soul do not like empty spaces for very long. They must fill them. When you stop chasing and no longer act from a feeling of need or desperation, empty spaces form inside the relationship dynamic. Before, this space was filled with your steady presence and constant attention, your energy always available. Type power back if you've started pulling your energy back and focusing on yourself, reclaiming your attention. Now there is quiet, But it is not an empty, meaningless kind of quiet. It is a meaningful inner absence that speaks volumes. Instead of just explaining this, I want you to understand clearly the difference between these two states, because it matters a great deal spiritually. The physics of absence, physical absence, simply means not seeing each other in person right now, not being in the same location. Inner absence happens when you no longer look for their approval or validation all the time to feel okay about yourself. It is the point when you let go emotionally and turn your focus back toward your own life, your own growth, your own purpose. This kind of inner absence is what reaches the other person now in the spirit realm, because you once gave them the sure feeling that you would always be available whenever they wanted, however they wanted. Imagine two people holding a tight rope between them in tension. If you keep pulling hard on your end, the other person only needs to hold on without much effort on their part. But write in the comments, "I let go of the rope." This is the action that shifted everything. The moment you let go of the rope to care for your own needs and well-being, the other person suddenly loses balance. They stumble and feel the lack of support, which then shows them their own inner truth clearly for the first time. Without your steady energy holding up their sense of self and their emotional stability, this person now has to create their own strength and face their loneliness directly. They start wondering why everything suddenly feels colder and less warm than before, why the emotional temperature dropped. They notice that your heart no longer opens as freely as it once did, and that unsettles them more than any physical distance or silence ever could. Emotional absence carries much more spiritual power than simple physical silence ever does. A person may get used to you not sending messages, may adjust to not seeing you, but they find it very hard to accept no longer having a real place in your inner world and thoughts, no longer mattering to you the way they once did. At this stage, the natural law of spiritual balance starts working on its own without your effort. By taking back your attention and focus, you stop pushing forward all the time. Stop initiating. When you stop pushing, the other person also stops moving backward away from you. There is nothing left for them to resist or fight against anymore. Type this: balance is being restored. This is seeing the spiritual law at work. When that wall of your pursuit disappears, when that pressure is removed, they are left facing their true emotions and feelings without any distraction. It feels as though life itself, as though God Himself is saying that you are now ready for what truly belongs to you to start coming your way naturally, without force. This movement toward you comes from a place of discomfort at first, not peace. The empty space you left behind in their life needs to be filled somehow. Since you are no longer filling it with small actions, constant attention, and quiet pain, only the other person can step in to do it now. That is why you sense this restless energy around you, this disturbance in the spiritual atmosphere. Even if they show nothing on the outside to the world, they feel deeply unsettled on the inside. They start noticing details about you they once ignored completely. They start thinking about things they used to take for granted without any appreciation or gratitude. Your decision to step back did not break the connection at all, beloved. Instead, it removed all the extra noise, all the distraction, and left this person alone with a truth they had avoided facing for a very long time. Romans 2:4 asks, "Do you show contempt for the riches of his kindness, forbearance and patience, not realizing that God's kindness is intended to lead you to repentance? Your withdrawal is leading them to repentance. Write this: my absence speaks louder than my presence ever did." This is understanding the power of withdrawal. The shadow and the mirror this truth works like a clear mirror that shows them parts of themselves they had kept carefully hidden away in the shadow. To see why this person is reacting with such fear now, we need to look at the psychological and spiritual idea of the shadow and the mirror within us. Every person carries a shadow, an unseen place where we store parts of ourselves we do not want to accept or face openly. This is where our deepest fears and hidden insecurities live quietly, the parts we deny. When this person pulled away from you or acted distant and cold, they were not truly responding to you as a person, but reacting to their own inner shadow instead, to their own unhealed wounds. The fear of losing you now rises up to show them something that has always been inside them, but stayed hidden behind old hurts and old defensive ways of protecting themselves from pain. Type in the comments, "They're facing their shadow." This is the spiritual battle happening in them. As long as you were reaching out to them constantly, you served as a safe container for their hidden fears. If they were scared of closeness and intimacy, they could tell themselves you were too much, or too needy, or too emotional in your needs. Their mind used your presence as an excuse to justify staying afraid and distant. Now that you have stepped back, you have taken away the screen they once used to project their own story onto. Now they sit alone inside their own thoughts and must face sides of themselves they never wanted to meet. Their fear of vulnerability, their inability to commit, their patterns of running. This experience feels very intense and confusing for them at first. There is a deep idea in psychology that explains why they feel they are losing you in particular, why it's you they can't replace. Deep inside their unconscious mind, you represent a picture of their own true soul, their authentic self. We often look outside ourselves for what we have abandoned within. Your energy and your way of loving show a part of themselves that they had pushed down and hidden for years, maybe their whole life. Write this: I reflect their true self. This is understanding your mirror function. Perhaps you stand for the openness they do not show the world, the vulnerability they're afraid of, the capacity to love deeply they've shut down. That is why when you withdraw, they do not just miss a friend or companion or romantic interest. They feel as if a piece of their own identity is being gently taken away, as if they're losing themselves. The fear of losing you becomes a real spiritual awakening for them. They start to see that you are truly special and cannot be replaced easily with just anyone. They understand that what they shared with you cannot be found again with anyone else in quite the same way, with the same depth. This realization carries great weight because it shows them clearly what really matters most in their life right now. Their inner shadow, which once told them to run and keep distance for safety, now whispers that real safety was always in the connection they chose to ignore before, to take for granted. They see clearly now that it was not a lack of love for you, but rather their own difficulty in handling the overwhelming depth of what they felt for you that made them run. 2 Timothy 1:7 reminds us, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." They operated in fear. You operated in power, and power always wins eventually. Type boldly, "Power overcomes fear." This is prophetic truth about the outcome. This inner struggle they're experiencing is a serious spiritual battle between their everyday ego self that wants control and safety, and their deeper soul self that recognizes a true home in you. Comment, "Inner absence" if you've noticed the silence feels louder than ever, more meaningful than words. The breaking point: when someone lives mostly in fear as their default state, they act as if they feel completely indifferent on the surface, unmoved. But when the soul sees the real danger of losing you forever, that fear loses its strong hold over them. This deeper part of them now goes through old memories with new eyes and thinks about words that once seemed unimportant, but now carry weight. They return to moments that now appear as key pieces of a much bigger and more meaningful story between you. It feels as though life itself, as though God Himself, is showing them what they failed to value when they still had the chance to do so fully. This does not bring them peace right away. Instead, it creates tension, inner conflict, and a growing feeling of urgency that they cannot ignore or suppress. They feel split inside themselves between two opposing sides. Their old fearful self wants to keep emotional distance and stay safe. But a stronger and older force, their soul, gently pulls them back toward you. Route this: "They're being pulled back to me." This is the divine magnetism operating. This inner split creates actions and patterns that go far beyond normal sadness or missing someone. What they are going through is a big and lasting transformation that cannot be undone easily, that will change them permanently. Even if they hide it behind a calm face, behind normalcy, there are signs you will be able to recognize clearly if you're paying attention. Outer quiet does not always mean inner peace at all. From the outside, everything may still look completely normal and unchanged in their life. They may keep working, spending time with others, and seeming steady and fine on the surface. Yet this outer appearance is very fragile right now, because real emotional and mental unrest moves beneath it all the time like an earthquake building. This person is learning the basic spiritual truth that you cannot run away from something you carry deep inside your own being, something that lives in your soul. The restless feeling has become a constant and troubling presence that disturbs their calm in many moments throughout each day. One of the clearest signs of this awakening is a noticeable change in how they sleep. They now struggle to fall asleep or wake up anxiously between 3 and 4 in the morning, when the mind's usual defenses are at their weakest and truth breaks through. Type in the comments, 3 a.m. awakening, if you sense this is happening to them or have felt it yourself. In those quiet early hours of the morning, their thoughts turn to you without invitation, and this persistent restlessness quickly bleeds into their online behavior and daily habits. Driven by pride that won't let them reach out directly, they quietly watch your social media activity from a distance, checking your stories without leaving a trace, because admitting you still matter would require too much vulnerability. They secretly revisit old chats and messages to feel close to your energy again, experiencing a bittersweet mix of relief and deep fear when they see you thriving independently, living well. They become terrified that you are finally learning to be happy without them, that you don't need them anymore. If you want me to reveal exactly what their soul is truly experiencing right now in the spiritual realm, type yes in the comments below. What you're feeling from them, this intense inner storm they're experiencing, soon crosses the energetic space between you, beloved, meaning you are no longer just an observer watching from outside, but will actually begin to feel their awakening inside your own body and emotions directly, because you share a common emotional and spiritual space. Like an underground lake linking two separate wells, physical distance loses its importance and power. This causes you to experience sudden unexplained waves of sadness or heavy anxiety that are actually their grief over what they threw away, what they lost. Their everyday ego self tries desperately to maintain control during the daytime hours, keeping up appearances. But the unseen spiritual thread remains unbroken as their name keeps appearing everywhere, repeating numbers like 111 and 1111, and vivid, incredibly detailed dreams begin showing up as clear signals that this entire process is moving toward its natural breakthrough. Bribed in the comments, I see the signs everywhere. This is confirmation of the spiritual communication. If this message has touched something you have been carrying inside for a while now, make sure you stay connected with valuable insights like these. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you receive them as soon as they appear, as soon as they're released. If you have lately felt emotions that do not seem like your own, or noticed an influx of signs and synchronicities, you are perceiving a profound energetic turning point happening right now. This current phase of coldness, sudden distance, or radio silence from your person is not a sign that they have moved on or forgotten you. Rather, it represents the final intense struggle of their protective ego breaking down under the immense weight of their true feelings that can no longer be suppressed. Like a rubber band stretching to its absolute limit before snapping forward with force, their current withdrawal is the ultimate resistance before a genuine breakthrough happens. Psalm 35 promises, weeping may stay for the night, but rejoicing comes in the morning. Their night of resistance is ending. Your morning of rejoicing approaches. Type this. Breakthrough is coming. This is prophetic declaration over your situation. By staying centered in your own truth instead of chasing them desperately, by maintaining your power, you allow this necessary inner pressure to dismantle their walls brick by brick, transforming their pride into an undeniable urge to mend what was broken between you. The coming breakthrough as the heavy silence transforms from a protective shield into an isolating prison that suffocates them. The agonizing fear of losing you completely becomes their ultimate catalyst for real action and change. Every suppressed memory of your irreplaceable connection is rushing back like a flood, forcing them to step out of their emotional darkness and plan a vulnerable, honest return to you. You will naturally feel a deep sense of calm and detachment replace your past restlessness, because the exhausting energetic battle has already been won on the higher spiritual realms. The victory is already secured in the invisible before it manifests in the visible. They are currently testing the waters with subtle indirect gestures to see if you remain open to them if the door is still unlocked. They're realizing that their distractions and need for control are completely hollow without your presence, meaningless without you. Write this: I feel the calm. This is recognizing the shift in your own energy. When they finally gather the courage to reach out directly, it will manifest as a sincere, deeply honest conversation that bypasses old excuses and addresses the real depth of their bond with you. This simple communication masks a total surrender on their part, because they now know clearly they must rise to meet the empowered, balanced version of you that grew while they were away. You no longer need to chase them, over-explain yourself, or shrink yourself to make them comfortable. You have successfully set a new standard of mutual respect and healthy boundaries for the relationship moving forward. Trust this peaceful stillness within yourself, knowing that the foundation is being rebuilt on absolute truth, and the door is opening to a completely transformed connection. Type in the comments, "New foundation is being built." This is seeing what God is constructing. The person returning to you will not be the same person who left in fear. They have been humbled by your absence, awakened by the possibility of permanent loss, transformed by facing their own shadow. And you are not the same either. You are stronger, clearer, more grounded in your own worth. This is not just about them coming back. This is about both of you meeting at a higher level of consciousness, a deeper level of authenticity than was possible before. This is about divine timing that frustrated you, but perfected both of you. Your new standard, beloved. You have done something powerful that many people never do in their entire lives. You chose yourself. You withdrew your energy, not from a place of anger or manipulation, but from a place of self-love and self-respect. And that choice changed everything in the spiritual realm. Like this video right now, if this message spoke directly to your situation, if you recognized yourself and your journey in these words, your role now is not to go back to who you were before, to the version of you that waited and chased and made yourself small. Your role is to maintain this new standard you've set, to honor the growth that happened in the silence, to respect the boundaries you've established. When they return, and they will return, they must meet you where you are now, not where you were. They must rise to your level, not pull you back down to theirs. This is not pride. This is wisdom. This is self-preservation. This is honoring what God did in you during the separation. Route this declaration: I will not shrink back to who I was. This is maintaining your transformation. You are no longer in the energy of waiting desperately, hoping anxiously, or wondering constantly. You are in the energy of living fully, trusting completely, and knowing with certainty that what is truly yours will find its way to you when both people are ready. The fear they feel now is healthy. It is waking them up. It is showing them your value. It is teaching them that you are not a guaranteed presence in their life to take for granted, but a gift to be honored and cherished. If you are ready to maintain this new standard, if you are committed to not going backward, type "blessed and ready" in the comments. Because, beloved, the breakthrough is coming. Their resistance is crumbling. The walls are falling. And when they finally stand before you honest and vulnerable, you will understand perfectly why the separation was necessary, why the pain had purpose. Every day of silence was teaching you your worth. Every moment of absence was strengthening your foundation. Every tear you cried was watering the soil for the new thing God is growing between you. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was random. All of it was divine preparation.